I'm Steve from CenterPoint Energy, and I'm here with Dennis, who's going to show us how to read your smart meter. CenterPoint Energy can read smart meters remotely, so we won't typically send a meter reader to read the meter, but they are easy to read, and Dennis will show us. A smart meter shows 6 different sets of information, or registers, at 3-second intervals 24 hours a day, and Dennis will tell us what they are.
All right, Steve, on these meters, the register that you'll be mostly interested in is your kilowatt hour usage. That's going to be signified by a 01H on the top left-hand side of this digital display. If at any time you want to get your usage for any given time period for the day, the week, the month, just read that 01H register, right, left to right, and then come back out and read it again, and then you subtract those two readings, and that gives you your readings from that particular time period that you choose.
The second reading is KVA demand. Dennis, tell us what that is.
The KVA demand is for general accounts or commercial accounts, and the residential customers shouldn't be concerned with that. It's 03A is the registration on the account on the display, and should just be disregarded by most customers.
The third reading is distributed generation. For consumers with distributed generation power sources such as solar panels or a wind turbine, smart meters capture not only electricity consumed but also electricity generated. Dennis, tell us about distributed generation.
Distributed generation, like you say, Steve, is for windmills, solar panels, etc., and that reading will be indicated by an O2G register. It'll say on the top left-hand side, it's just like your O1H register. Okay, most consumers, the readings will be all zeros, and if there's any readings there, that is for your generation. Will show you how many kilowatts that you've generated with your system. The arrows normally will go to the right. There's a box arrow to the right showing that's power you're using. If it's box arrow going to the left, that is you're generating power, and that shows that you're generating more than you're using.
So if I have solar panels, the arrow will be pointing to the left on a sunny day. If it's a cloudy day, I may be using more than I'm generating, and then the arrow would point to the right?
Correct. It just depends on how much generation that you have on your house. I mean, sometimes on a sunny day, if you're still generating, you still may be using more than you're generating, but it would offset your usage.
And then the arrow would point to the right.
Correct.
Again, CenterPoint Energy can read smart meters remotely, but in the event of a manual read, a segment check ensures that the display is working properly. Dennis, would you explain?
The segment check will display all 8s across the register. Now, all that means is that all of the LEDs they're working properly, they're not burned out. It gives you a correct read.
And does the flashing indicate anything?
The flashing between registers is normal. It just gives you each one of your registers in sequence for 3 seconds. It means that everything's working properly.
So if I see all 8s, I know the display is working properly.
Yes, that's correct.
CenterPoint Energy reads smart meters remotely through a wireless communications network. The final 2 readings, reg and sync, are related to that network. Dennis will explain.
The sync net and the register display on the meter basically is a communication status of the meter talking back to our system, and it shouldn't really have anything to do with the consumer at all.
But reg notes whether I'm in the communications network or not. Is that right?
Correct, yes. If it's registered in our network and communicating properly.
So if I live in an area that doesn't have the communications towers yet, I may have a smart meter, but it's not being read remotely, so a meter reader is still coming to the yard. Is that right?
Correct. That's correct. And the meter display should say not regged.
And if I want to find out when the communications network is in my area, I can look for it to change to reg, or I can go to CenterPoint Energy's website at centerpointenergy.com/energyinsight.
Correct.
And sync then refers to whether it's talking to the network. Is that right?
Synchronized in the network. Yes, it's talking. And registered means that it's registered in our system.
But most users can generally ignore these readings, correct?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
The benefit of smart meters goes far beyond merely more easily reading the digital meter than an old meter with spinning dials. In-home energy monitors will be available in a range of prices that will allow consumers to see just how much electricity they're using as they use it. Within 60 days of the installation of your smart meter, you can visit the Smart Meter Texas portal at www.smartmetertexas.com to see your usage in 24-hour, 30-day, or 13-month snapshots down to 15-minute intervals. For more information, visit centerpointenergy.com/energyinsight. Thank you, Dennis, for helping us today.
You're welcome.